Did you know that in North Korea, citizens have to hand over their excrement to the government? Or have you ever seen a shower of stuffed animals on a football field? Did you know that in Japan they have created a medicine that makes your lost teeth grow back? All this and much more today on Callan the Curious. Did you know that in North Korea you have to give your excrement to the government to use as fertilizer? Each citizen must meet an annual fee. In the Karak district of Pakistan, a place rich in natural gas and oil, we found an ingenious but dangerous way to transport cooking gas. Local people extract natural gas with a hose illegally in a giant plastic bag. This technique, known as bag gas, has the risk that it can explode at any time. This phenomenon occurs due to the lack of infrastructure and high costs in Pakistan. This material uses a set of lenses to deflect light around it. This is what happens if you get behind. Would you believe me if I told you that this woman ran 7 marathons on 7 different continents in a span of 7 days at the age of 70? Chow Smith decided to celebrate her birthday in a rather peculiar way. Her feat took place from January 25th to 31, 2017. She ran marathons in Australia, Singapore, Egypt, Holland, New York, Chile, and even in Antarctica. This is the largest restaurant in the world and is located in Chongqing, China. The restaurant is called Pipa Yuan, and it occupies an entire slope of a mountain where 900 tables and about 6,000 people can fit. Curiously, if you get a table at the top of the mountain, it can take 30 minutes to get there from the parking lot at the base. Despite its capacity, it is almost impossible to find an empty table, so if you want to eat here, you must book well in advance. In the city of Changsha in China, there is a store that has become a true attraction for locals and tourists for a very special reason. All of its products are huge, from chips, cookies, noodles, and everything you can imagine. Thousands of people visit the place every day to try these unique snacks. This is the quietest room in the world. It was created by Microsoft in 2015. The space is so silent that it is even uncomfortable. You can hear your heartbeat, your bones moving, your lungs, and even the movement of your blood. It is said that if you spend too much time in this place, you could go crazy. The maximum time a person has been inside is 4 hours 22 minutes. Flip is a unique boat. Unlike conventional ships, Flip can transform vertically, sinking its stern and leaving its bow floating, allowing it to become an extremely stable research platform in the ocean. In 6 years, a large number of people will stop paying their electricity bill. What? That's how it is. This cube that you see on the screen produces electricity without needing the sun, water, or wind. The neutrino power cup is designed to capture invisible radiation and convert it into electricity. It produces enough electricity for a family of 4 or 5 people. This is the folding house from Tenfold Engineering. This British factory has created a house that can be set up anywhere. It goes from being a cube to a house in just minutes. As absurd as it may seem, some McDonald's in China have these stationary bikes instead of seats at the tables. According to Harvard University, riding a bicycle at a speed of 19 kilometers per hour causes the average person to burn about 300 calories in 30 minutes. Each McNugget has approximately 42 calories, so it would take about 5 minutes to burn each one. A hamburger with fries and a soda, 1 hour and a half without stopping. Did you know that the first CDs were smaller than the ones we know today? In the 70s, the companies Sony and Philips worked on a new musical medium, thus developing the CD. This had a diameter of 11.5 centimeters and a duration of 60 minutes, but the then president of Sony, Norio Oga, said that those 60 minutes did not fit Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, which lasts 74 minutes and 33 seconds. For this reason, the CDs that we know measure 12.7 centimeters and last 74 minutes, which is the standard length for all brands. In Japan, there is a restaurant where the waiters and waitresses have varying degrees of memory loss. 37% of the time they write down your order wrong, so you never know what you're going to eat. I think it's a very fun way to help keep people with some type of dementia in society. What do you think? This is the Kola Well in Russia. It is the deepest hole ever dug by humans. It reached a depth of 12,262 meters later. We leave you a recording of what you hear inside. It's really scary. This man is an ascetic monk from India who has planted rice on his head. To make the rice grow better, he has adapted the habit of sleeping sitting up. He knows when the roots need water because he senses that his skin is dry, so he waters himself constantly. When the rice is ready, he harvests it. He eats it and plants it again. Did you know that Taiwan's traffic signals are smart? They have a screen where you can get directions. The sign rotates and points where you need to go. In Japan, they have developed a drug capable of making teeth grow. Yes, you heard right. It is expected to be ready for use with humans in 2030 and will allow people who have lost their teeth to have perfect teeth again. The tomato festival, known as La Tomatina, is held annually in Buñol, Spain. Thousands of participants gather to throw ripe tomatoes at each other in a friendly and chaotic battle in the streets. A South Korean company has created artificial intelligence so that people can make a video call with their deceased family and friends. This artificial intelligence collects the digital files of the deceased, such as videos and photographs, and using this information virtually regenerates the deceased person so that you can go have a chat with them. It seems a little strange to me. What do you think? Google Images was literally created after Jennifer Lopez wore that famous dress at the 2000 Grammys. So many people were searching for her look that the search engine added an image search function. Here you can see an innovative idea for public bathrooms. You can find them in Japan, and they have completely transparent walls so you can see inside. This way you can see if the bathroom is occupied or if it is clean. When you enter and lock the door, the walls become opaque so you have more privacy. Its creators used glass covered with a PDLC film to make the walls, allowing them to go from transparent to intensely safe using electricity. During the 1912 Olympic Games, a marathon runner quit and returned to Japan without telling the judges and Olympic Committee. He was considered a missing person in Sweden for 50 years. In 1966, he was invited to complete the marathon. The official time was 54 years, 8 months, 6 days, 5 hours, 32 minutes and 20 seconds. Did you know that when a blind person uses a cane with red and white ribbon, this indicates that in addition to having visual difficulties, they also have hearing problems? Don't forget to share this interesting fact. This is how he saw the traditional annual rain of stuffed animals at the stadium of the Beatty soccer team. Nearly 19,000 stuffed animals were collected so that no homeless child would be left without a gift during the Christmas holidays. Did you know the wooden scooters from El Congo? They are handmade, carved with a machete. As you can see, they do not have any type of motor, so the way to move is by being dragged by another vehicle, by pushing or simply taking advantage of the unevenness of the road. They are mainly used to transport large loads around the city. Did you know that the disco soccer exists? You have to score goals while dancing to the music. If you stop moving, you will be disqualified. Perhaps you didn't know that the popular Barilla pasta has a Spotify account with a playlist that indicates the exact time needed to cook each of its pastas so that they are al dente. At the end of the video, I challenge you to put it to the test and leave me the result in the comments. This was the Sinclair C5, the electric vehicle that was born before its time. At the beginning of 1985, the Sinclair C5 was presented to the public, a small vehicle, technically an electric tricycle for one passenger. To move, it had a 12-volt lead-acid battery that gave it a range of just over 30 kilometers. It weighed 30 kilos without the battery and 45 kilos with it. Yes, the speed that the C5 reached was only 24 kilometers per hour. A mousepad for the mouth. It will allow people with disabilities to control the computer with their tongue. The device, called MouthPad, is a retainer-like trackpad chip that sits on the roof of your mouth. This custom mouse can detect tongue movements, allowing users to scroll, type, make calls, and even play games with just a swipe or click of the tongue. In space, astronauts cannot cry properly because tears cannot fall due to lack of gravity. Tears accumulate in the eyes and can form liquid bubbles that float. This is one of the best advertisements I have ever seen. It seems that the cars that enter the tunnel are sucked into the vacuum cleaner. Have you ever thrown a coin into a fountain to make a wish? Do you know where this strange custom comes from? Well, this belief has its roots in the ancient conceptions of water as a symbol of fertility, in addition to its cleansing and healing properties. On the other hand, one of the beliefs of primitive societies said that the spirits that had made them sprout lived inside these sources, and therefore, throwing an offering inside would please them. Little by little, people changed the offering for coins, and thus arose the deep-rooted custom of throwing a coin every time we see a fountain. Did you know that brain tissue can now be printed with a 3D printer? It was developed by a team of researchers at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. It is a fully functional brain tissue, capable of developing and establishing connections in the same way that human brain tissue does. Awesome. Have you ever wondered how they make those creepy sounds in horror movies? To create them, they use this instrument called the nightmare machine. Canned drinks have a lot of bacteria. Look at all the ones there are. These are the bacteria that are there after cleaning them with your clothes. With a napkin and with hand sanitizer, that is alcohol. Caim Tubal is a Colombian known as the Devil Man. The reason is clear. He is full of piercings, tattoos. He even has 2 horns on his forehead to look like the devil. Could you say which is the most expensive object that exists on our planet? Well, it is not a luxurious yacht or a dazzling mansion, but the Large Hadron Collider LHC in Switzerland, costing billions of dollars. This gigantic and complex particle accelerator is a scientific marvel designed to explore the mysteries of the universe. It is literally a large-scale experiment that brings us closer to understanding the cosmos. This game is called carom, and it is a type of billiards that is played with your fingers. It is very popular in India. To win, the player must put in all the chips of one color. It looks pretty fun. This man is called Amar Bharati, and he has spent the last 50 years with his arm raised. In 1973, Amar decided to leave his job as a banker and embark on his path as a sadhu, which led him to commit to performing a unique penance in honor of the god Shiva and for the benefit of world peace. His penance consisted of keeping his right arm raised without ever lowering it again, as a protest against all the wars in the world. As a result of this, his bones and cartilage have petrified, so that he could no longer lower his arm even if he wanted to. We are all looking for a home in which we can live peacefully protected from the cold, rain, and inclement weather. However, it has never crossed our minds that our house performs that function alone. This is the case of the Sun House, 360 houses, designed by architects in Malaga, Spain. They are rotating homes oriented towards the sun, absorbing solar energy that they use at night and allowing energy savings of up to 70%. I want a house like this to pay less and show off to the neighbors. This is a Crespin bird, and this is what its curious dance movements look like. This is one of the best donation drives I've seen in a long time. This interactive poster has a credit card reader. When you slide it, this animation plays in which you cut some bread and share it with a low-income family. Did you know that most polar bears are left-handed? Curious, right? This is what the impressive Chinese train looks like that seems to travel through the air and upside down. It was launched in the city of Wuhan and has 6 stations. Nicknamed the Celestial Train, it is not supported on metal rails like the others, but is suspended in the air without contact with another surface, using innovative magnet technology. What citizens like the most is the glass floor inside the train that allows you to see the journey under your feet from above. In Brazil, a group of scientists has begun to produce mosquitoes that fight diseases. A bacterial strain that infects mosquitoes and prevents them from spreading harmful viruses, protecting people from diseases such as dengue and Zika. Over the next 10 years, this non-profit organization will produce up to 5 billion mosquitoes infected with the bacteria. Do you think it is a good option to use genetically created insects to combat diseases, or is it something that we should leave to nature? Leave me your opinion in the comments. Look how they paint the manhole covers in Japan. There are dozens of designs depending on the city. They are a work of art! This is the most expensive burger in the world. It costs $5,000 and is made by Robert Jan de Veen in Holland. It has champagne-battered onion rings. The meat is juicy Wagyu, plus the addition of king crab and caviar inside a bun covered in gold leaves. Would you like to try it? This is osmium, the densest and rarest material on the planet. To obtain this amount, more than 180 tons of stone need to be mined. Did you know that Miss Artificial Intelligence exists? None of the nominees are real, they were all computer generated. The first beauty pageant to crown fake humans. No comment. This is a tornado omelette, a traditional South Korean dish. Look how they prepare it. Leopard Nick draws and animates arms in animal videos, giving them a new meaning. On the sides, you can see the original video, and in the center with his animation. This is without a doubt my favorite. This is the Carl Strat. It is a boat capable of cleaning the seabed in a matter of seconds. The ship has a device that lowers to the bottom of the sea, forming a capsule, and through overpressure systems, dries the seabed, allowing workers to walk on it without problem. This task is carried out in the Netherlands to keep riverbeds clean. Although it may seem like a calm job, workers face very harsh conditions, from the use of compressed air to extreme temperatures with intense heat in summer and intense cold in winter. Did you know that peacock feathers are actually brown? But its microscopic structure scatters light in a way that creates a blue and green iridescence effect. This is what a rain cloud looks like from the inside. This skydiver has shown what it is like to go through a rain cloud thanks to a camera he carries. The video shows how the jumper fills up with condensation drops and ends up appearing on the other side of the cloud. The cordyceps fungus is known for its ability to infect ants and take control of their nervous system. Once infected, the ant is forced to abandon its colony and climb to a specific location. There, the ant anchors itself to a leaf or branch. Eventually, the fungus grows and emerges from the ant's body, releasing spores from its new position to infect other nearby ants, thus ensuring the spread of the fungus. Don't you think it's amazing? He is Flexible Eddie, or also known as the Boneless Man. Look at the incredible flexibility of him. Imagine being inside a painting. Motion Magic has created this 3D video so you can experience Van Gogh's famous Starry Night in 360 degrees. I leave you the link in the description so you can see it at the end of this video. If you are not yet a member of the channel, subscribe! This is the perfect time to do so. When the ancient Romans had to tell the truth in a trial, instead of swearing on the Bible as today, they did so by squeezing their testicles with their right hand. From this ancient custom came the word testify. In Amsterdam, the Netherlands, there are bicycle parking lots called Spark, which distribute the electricity generated by bicycles to the streets and houses of the city. The bicycles stored here convert pedaling into electrical energy thanks to generators in their wheels that store the energy in batteries. They were created as an alternative to solar energy, since solar panels cannot be installed on historic buildings in Amsterdam. On average, every day, the citizens of Amsterdam pedal 2 million kilometers, generating 19.5 million watts per hour. Just a rack of 30 bicycles can illuminate a street and avoids throwing 615 kilos of CO2 into the air each year. Are you a wine lover? What would you think if you went to a restaurant and they offered you this wine? Eric Boschman, one of the most recognized sommeliers in the world, managed to fool everyone with a boxed wine. In his experiment, he bought the cheapest wine from the supermarket that barely cost $3 and put it in a glass bottle. He designed it a beautiful label and entered it into a prestigious international competition, the Gilbert and Gaillard Awards. The surprise was that Boschman wine won the gold medal. Can you believe it? This experiment shows that appearances can be deceiving. Be careful with your next purchase. Until now, the only sport that has been practiced outside of planet Earth has been golf. This is thanks to the fact that in 1971, the American astronaut Alan Shepard played it during his moonwalk. In the bustling city of Taipei, there is a unique dining experience, Modern Toilet Restaurant. Here, quirky bathroom-themed decor adds a fun touch to your meal, with dishes served in mini toilets and drinks in urinals. This popular spot combines humor with culinary delights, making it a must-visit for adventurers. Can you believe Puma did a collaboration with Cheetos? This was the result. They come in a bag like fries. Cool, huh? Did you know that synchronized swimmers put gelatin in their hair to avoid messy hair in the water? This is how they prepare it and spread it. Exactly 5 minutes is how long the foam of Heineken beer lasts according to its design. In Switzerland, they use this type of bridge when they have to make repairs to the pavement, so they do not interrupt traffic. Lab-grown meat is produced by growing animal cells in a laboratory instead of raising and slaughtering animals. The objective of its development is to provide a more sustainable and ethical alternative to traditional meat production. Would you try it? This bottle of wine rescued from the Titanic was auctioned and bought for $1.4 million. What does it taste like? No idea, but his face leaves a lot to the imagination. Did you know you can stay at Ups Carl and Ellie Fredrickson's house? It is a collaboration between Pixar and Airbnb in commemoration of the film's 15th anniversary. It has 8,000 balloons tied to the ceiling, but these are not the ones that hold it up, but rather a huge crane that raises it to 15 meters above the ground. A rare elephant fish, better known as elephant chimera or Sierra nose. This fish is a species of holocephalic fish found in deep waters of the Atlantic Ocean. It reaches 140 centimeters in length, light brown to white in color, narrow pectoral fins, and its main characteristic is that it has an elongated pointed nose and an appearance similar to an elephant. Vincent Ball is a shadow artist. He is dedicated to creating art with the help of shadows cast by objects. Here you can see some of his works. These are the miniature trucks made with lawnmowers. A man from Moca, Puerto Rico, transforms lawn tractors into miniature trucks. Luis Daniel Lorenzo is the creator of Mini Trucks Puerto Rico, and his inventions are completely functional. There is nothing fancy here, they all have their signals, lights, air conditioning. A real truck, but in miniature. Believe it or not, potatoes, onions, and apples have the same flavor. They can be distinguished by their smell. If you don't believe it, try eating them with your nose covered. Did you know that there is a man who has survived the explosion of 2 nuclear bombs? Tsutomu Yamaguchi was a Japanese engineer recognized for being the only person to have survived the explosion of 2 nuclear bombs. The first of them in Hiroshima and the second in Nagasaki, both in 1945. Although he suffered from certain burns, he managed to survive both explosions without further mishaps. Humans share about 60% of our DNA with bananas, showing how connected all life on Earth is at a genetic level. Look at the fun card holders that Lamarck sells. You can choose from various superheroes and villains. Every year, about 27 million tons of dust travel from the Sahara Desert to the Amazon rainforest. This journey, which can last 10 days, transports minerals and nutrients crucial for the fertilization of Amazonian soils, contributing to the balance of the ecosystem. It also helps neutralize the acidity of the soil caused by the Amazon rain, creating a more favorable environment for plant growth. This chicken has black bones, organs, meat and feathers. The Ayam Cemani chicken is the breed of chicken that amazes thousands of people in the world because the roosters and hens are completely black. These animals, originally from Indonesia, not only have this color in their plumage, but their beak, crest, legs, organs and bones are of this shade. Ayam Cemani chickens are considered the most pigmented animals in the world. Its bluish-black color is no coincidence. It is due to hyperpigmentation, scientifically known as fibromelanosis. In other chickens, only certain cells produce pigmentation. However, fibromelanosis causes almost all cells in Ayam Cemani chickens to generate pigmentation. It is a chicken that is really appreciated by breeders. It can sell for up to $6,000, and its eggs can sell for up to $16 each. This is Rumesa, the tallest woman in the world. She measures 215.16 centimeters and broke 8 world records. She broke the first record when she was just 10 years old, making her the tallest teenage woman in the world. She also has other records such as the woman with the biggest ears, the biggest hands, the longest fingers, and the longest back. This is Elaine Davidson, the woman with the most piercings. She has more than 9,800 piercings on her body. We leave you a photo of how she looked before. There is a natural disaster called limnic eruption. It happens when carbon dioxide erupts from the depths of a lake, killing everything around it. This is the Shinkansen L0, and it is the fastest train in the world. It is located in Japan and can reach more than 600 kilometers per hour, which would allow you to travel from Tokyo to Osaka in less than an hour. It is a magnetic levitation train, and although it is currently in the testing phase, it is expected that it will be in public service in 2027. Would you dare to travel on it? The first alarm clocks were people. His job was to wake up early morning to the workers so that they arrived at the factories on time. Did you know that the Vatican has the second largest gold treasure in the world after the United States? Check out Lillian Baez's amazing makeup. Here you can see how she achieves it. This is Sony's new microsurgery robot. Watch how he sews a grain of corn. It will be used to perform delicate operations on small tissues such as veins and nerves. Did you know that you can use your fingers and hands to take approximate measurements? Closing your fist approximately 10 centimeters. This position approximately 20 centimeters. This position approximately 15 centimeters. These 3 fingers 5 centimeters. The thumb 2 centimeters. Your pinky 1 centimeter. Here we leave you other measures. Remember that they are approximations and that they vary from person to person. The Isles of Scilly officially have the smallest football league in the world. Only 2 teams participate, which face each other between 14 and 20 times per season. This is what the gravitational effect of the moon on the Earth looks like, which is responsible for the tidal phenomenon that causes the expansion of the oceans towards the moon and away from it. Gravitational influence also contributes to the stability of Earth's climate by moderating the planet's wobble on its axis, helping to maintain a relatively stable climate over long periods. A 13-year-old boy has become the first person to beat the game of Tetris. Created 40 years ago, for decades, it was thought that it was only possible to reach level 29 of the game rated as unbeatable. However, Willis Gibson reached level 157, which caused Tetris to crash. This milestone was achieved after 38 minutes of intense concentration, and joins artificial intelligence as the only ones to beat the game. Some people may roll their tongue into the nasal cavity. This practice is called Kachari Mudra. This kitten predicted the departure of more than 100 elderly people. Oscar was adopted by a rehabilitation center for the elderly. Most of the time he preferred to be alone, but from time to time he would snuggle up with one of the patients. The strange thing is that after a few days, the patient died. It is believed that this kitten could smell the chemicals released by dying cells in the human body, and for some reason accompanied the elderly in their last hours. Throughout his life, Oscar accurately predicted more than 100 deaths. No, it is not an optical effect. It is the Crooked House and is located in Sopot, Poland. This commercial building has a unique and surreal architecture. It seems like something out of a distorted fairy tale. Did you know that panthers are not a separate species? In reality, the term panther refers to jaguars and leopards with excess melanin, which gives them black or very dark fur. This condition is called melanism. Although they appear completely black, if you look closely, you will notice the characteristic spots of jaguars and leopards on their fur. In fact, there are also white panthers. Perhaps you didn't know that surgical lights work without casting visible shadows. These lights use multiple light sources arranged in a circular pattern, emitting light from different angles that overlap to create uniform, shadow-free illumination. When an object, such as a hand, blocks one of the rays, the other rays continue to illuminate the area, preventing shadows from forming. This design ensures that surgeons have a consistently well-lit view of the operating area. These are the Kukeri, Bulgarian dancers who scare away evil spirits. At the beginning of winter, they put on these suits and travel to the villages to drive away evil and attract good. The most common surname in the world is Wan. Around 107 million people are called that. The most common in the United States is Smith, in position 130. Here you can see a list of the most common. Andy Mason created the world's smallest flipbook. It's microscopic. It barely measures 2 by 5 millimeters. Look at it compared to a coin. And the tip of his finger. Fits in the hand of a Lego doll. This device is called Sauce Mover, and as its name indicates, it is used to move sauces or liquids from any surface effortlessly. Very impressive, but who would spend their money on this? Roman de Giuli designed this machine, which he called Emitter. It is a set of drippers controlled by a computer that gradually releases drops of paint. Look how it slides. The effect is incredible. Hydralease show us what these celebrities would look like if they were of other races. Shakira, Tom Cruise, David Beckham, Angelina Jolie, Elvis Presley, and Cristiano Ronaldo. This is the gaucho dog that is triumphing on social medias. His name is Preguntal. He knows how to ride a horse, drive a tractor, and is the protagonist of the videos that amuse and entertain millions of users on social networks. Diego, his owner, found him alone in the middle of the field 7 years ago, and they became inseparable. They live in Triunfo, a town of about 1,500 people near Lincoln, and they do everything together. Hypnomotion makes these animations in which it cooks with Lego pieces. They are truly mesmerizing. This is the new Redmi Turbo 3 Harry Potter edition. Inspired by Horcruxes, the smartphone includes a book with scenes from Diagon Alley, a protective blue case that contains a hidden Dementor inside. The SIM card pin is a replica of the Howard's logo. The 90-watt charger is customized to charge the 5,000 milliamp battery. The smartphone comes with a design divided into two sectors. At the bottom, the 4 houses of the Magic School appear, and at the top, fluorescent details of the 7 Horcruxes, and in the flash, the Loomis spell. Did you know that the human ability to smell petrichor is greater than a shark's ability to smell blood in the water? The term petrichor is the name of the smell produced when rain falls on dry soils, popularly known as smell of wet earth or smell of rain. There is a travel agency in Japan called Unagi Travel, which is dedicated to taking your stuffed animals on vacation around the world. You have to reserve well in advance because places fill up quickly. Have you ever seen a dog like this? He is really skilled at dodging obstacles and skating in zigzags. Do you know that there are coffee-flavored or cilantro-flavored Doritos? They are limited editions and experiments that the brand does from time to time. A company in Singapore launched a drink called Anything and Whatever. Each one could contain 6 different flavors, and you didn't know which one you were going to get until you drank the one. The largest organ in the world is located in Wanamaker Center in Philadelphia, United States. This monumental instrument has more than 28,000 tubes. This is what Bohemian Rhapsody sounds like on this organ. A few years ago, it became fashionable to make rice balls with your armpits. It became fashionable after it appeared in a famous manga. What will they taste like? Would you dare to try them? In this animation, you can see a speed comparison of the different Lamborghini models throughout history. Did you know them all? Did you know this sport? It is called Malakam. It is a national sport in India for about 9 centuries. It is based on performing a routine using a pole as its axis. The pole is about 2.6 meters high, and the athletes climb it and perform a large number of poses to demonstrate their skill. Min Mayo is a paper artist. Watch as he designs, prints, cuts, and glues these figures. His level of patience and detail is incredible. This group of beatboxers has created the soundtrack and sound effects for this scene from Dragon Ball Z. The result is simply incredible. By 2027, Saudi Arabia will complete the construction of the first Dragon Ball theme park, thanks to the investment of the Qiddiya Investment Company. The project is planned to occupy an area of 500,000 square meters, which would be equivalent to twice the size of the famous Walt Disney World in Florida. Can you imagine winning $30,000 for beating a single level of a video game? That's what Trackmania is offering with a challenge called Deep Dip 2. Released on May 4th, 2024, the video game has a 16-story map and the rest is simple, getting to the top without checkpoints. The most skilled players in the world have tried to overcome it, but no one has yet managed to complete it. Veteran players have reached the top floor only to be faced with a vertical surface almost impossible to climb without falling. Will you be the next to try it? Blowing out candles increases the presence of bacteria in a cake by 1,400%. Think about it next time. This is Skillaz, an artist specializing in movement. Look at the rigidity of his body. It looks like it's made of plastic. Did you know that in the Canary Islands in Spain, there is a whistled language? It is known as Silbo Gamero and uses whistles to transmit messages over long distances. This method is especially useful for locals since they live in mountainous terrain and their houses are far away from each other. About 20,000 people speak it, or whistle it, I guess. Spacewalk, the huge roller coaster that you can walk on. It is located in the city of Pohang in South Korea. It is an installation by Hamburg artists Heike Mutter and Ulrich Genth and is the largest work of art in South Korea. Its highest point reaches 25 meters high. You're about to hear the songs of the Momuna tribe on the island of Papua in Indonesia. With minimal contact with the outside world until the 1970s, it kept many of its traditions intact, such as living in tree houses and the singing of its men when hunting. While you enjoy that melody, subscribe to the channel. This is the perfect time to do it. It looks like virtual reality, but it's actually bent wire. It was made by the Yamaguchi Seizakisho Metal Processing Company to showcase the technical capabilities of their factory. You're about to see the most revolutionary way to serve a plate of food. I can only imagine the amount of months or years of practice it takes to accomplish this. At the University of Belgrade in Serbia, they have created what you see in the image. It's about a liquid tree. It consists of a glass tank filled with over 150 gallons of water, some microalgae, and a solar panel that provides electricity to a small pump. Microalgae work hard to perform some magic with photosynthesis and convert water and carbon dioxide into oxygen, which is then passed into the atmosphere. On the outside, Connell bread loaves look ordinary, but look what happens when you cut them. Inside, they have fun character designs and colors. Matt Bonner built a 34 by 34 Rubik Cube. It took weeks to print and build. In total, it has 6,939 3D printed parts. Look how complicated it is to move them. Who will be the first to solve it? This is the largest ice cream cone in the world. It was made in Norway and was 3.08 meters high, 95.85 kilograms of biscuit, 60 kilograms of chocolate coating, 1080 liters of cream, and 40 kilograms of maple syrup. Almost nothing. According to a study, people who fall asleep after 1 in the morning are more likely to develop depression and anxiety. In Maracaibo Lake, in Venezuela, lightning occurs 160 nights a year. These storms can last up to 10 hours and generate thousands of lightning bolts. It is an impressive natural spectacle. This is the New Century Global Center, considered the largest building in the world. It is located in Chengdu in China. The base of this building is 400 meters wide by 500 meters long, a height of 100 meters with a total of 18 floors and an area of 7 million square meters. Another incredible thing is that inside we can find an artificial beach of 5,000 square meters. Did you know that in the past there were vending machines where you could watch movies? They were called mutoscopes. By inserting a coin, you could turn a crank that displayed a series of consecutive images that gave the illusion of movement. They lasted about 1 minute. This animation shows us how dishwashers work. The water is stored in a tank at the bottom of the machine. A resistance heats it to 60 degrees Celsius. The bar of soap is released. The machine pumps water into the dishes and removes dirt from them. The dirty water is then sent to the drain, and finally, the dishes are rinsed with clean water. This has to be one of the strangest watches you will ever see. The frame of lash clock is covered by eyelashes. The minutes and hours can be read thanks to the gap created between the fibers. He is Leng Jun, and his paintings are considered the most realistic in the world. The way he projects emotions and thoughts is amazing. His works look like photographs, and although Leng is the leader of the Huang Painting Academy in China, he takes the time to do street demonstrations of his art. He is known as the master of shading, since in his works you can perfectly observe darkness and light, which give rise to a hyper-realistic image. What you're watching isn't an animation, but Robosen Robotics Inc. has launched a Buzz Lightyear robot with realistic expressions and is programmable. It took 3 years to develop, and it has 23 motors, 75 microchips, and around 3,000 parts, making it capable of performing an endless number of movements. The robot includes audio in English and Spanish, replicating scenes from the third Toy Story movie. Let's not forget that. This company is also responsible for launching Optimus Prime and Megatron robots, capable of being controlled by voice. If you want to buy one, you'll have to break the bank, since it costs $600. This is what a reindeer cyclone looks like, which is used as a defensive strategy. Females and calves stay in the center, while a fortress of males protects the herd by spinning like a cyclone. Basically, the threatened herd runs in circles at high speed, making it impossible to target a single target. In this way, animals that can be preyed upon by wolves create a kind of fence to protect the most vulnerable members of their herd from predators. Chladni figures are two-dimensional patterns that represent sound waves on a plate according to the vibrations of a tone. This is an experiment carried out by Ernst Chladni in 1808, which consisted of observing the movement of a handful of sand that he had placed on a plate and making it vibrate with sounds at different frequencies. He discovered that the vibrations of each sound caused the sand to clump together in different places, creating two-dimensional patterns called nodes. This This is Denis Kravchenko, another perfect example of where there's a will, there's a way. Look how he does all these activities using only his feet. Personally, I was shocked. After seeing this, I won't make any more excuses. Woodnest, a luxury retreat in the middle of the Norwegian forest. Woodnest's small tree houses are 15 square meters in size and can accommodate up to 4 people. It's the ideal space for a family break or a romantic date. Would you like to stay here? Tell me in the comments who you'd like to go with. An artificial intelligence machine is being developed with a special mission to find the character from the books, Where's Waldo? The machine designed by the company Red Pepper is called There's Waldo and is capable of finding the iconic character in just 4.45 seconds using a robotic arm and a facial recognition system. Although some experts recognize the achievement of this prototype, others criticize that it will take away the fun of the game of finding Waldo. Check out the amazing sculptures by Mathieu Robert Ortiz. Depending on your perspective, you'll see different things. Did you know the Donkervoort F-22? A true plane for the asphalt. The F-22 is capable of accelerating from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.5 seconds, and its top speed is 290 kilometers per hour. Although the company points out that this is not a car designed to be the fastest, the chassis fuses thin-walled tubular steel with carbon fiber, creating a car with twice the rigidity of the C8 GTO. This UV camera reveals invisible damage that the sun does to your skin. In this small experiment, a group of people were gathered together, and with the help of an ultraviolet camera, they revealed the marks that the sun leaves on our skin that are not yet visible to us, and also showed the effect that sunscreens have in counteracting them. This is an amazing machine that automatically arranges the balls on the pool table. Will this machine put an end to arguing about how to arrange the balls on the table? I hope so. This is how amazing Malang's largest outdoor playground, Santerre de la Pente, is. It is a paradise designed to unleash the imagination and limitless energy of children of all ages. Spread over 5,000 square meters, this outdoor wonderland offers endless exciting attractions that will keep kids and adults entertained for hours. Why carry luggage when it can carry you? This is the Moto Bag. Its reinforced aluminum design allows it to transport a person weighing up to 118 kilos for a maximum distance of 9.6 kilometers per load and at a speed of up to 12.8 kilometers per hour. It has its own braking system and even a GPS tracking and location system through a mobile application. This is what happens if you put some ink from a pen on a sheet of paper and put it in water. DIY Perks and Mr. Who's the Boss built the world's largest functional iPhone. It has an 88-inch OLED touchscreen, an aluminum casing, and multiple cameras with flash. Ironically, it runs on an Android operating system. Mark Rober built the world's smallest dart launcher. Wait, that's not it. It's this one. It's fully functional. To see how the mechanism works, we need a microscope. Here you can see it next to a penny. Did you know that in hot climates, horses can sweat up to 3.5 liters in 15 minutes? That's all for today. See you in the next video!